What if I told you that being completely debt-free in Australia is actually pretty rare? You might think everyone's drowning in debt, or maybe you think most people have it sorted by retirement. The truth sits in between, and the numbers might surprise you. Today we're answering one question. How many Australians are actually debt-free? We'll look at mortgages, credit cards, HECS, car loans, and why the answer depends heavily on your age. By the end, you'll have a much better sense of whether you're ahead, behind, or right on track. Let's define it properly. Debt-free means you owe nothing. No mortgage, no car loan, no credit card balance, no personal loan, no HECS, nothing. That's different from being financially secure. Someone with a $300,000 mortgage on a $1.5 million home can be incredibly wealthy. Someone with zero debt but no savings can still be struggling. Debt isn't automatically bad. A mortgage that builds equity, a loan that grows your income, these can work in your favor. The real question isn't, do you have debt? It's, can you comfortably manage it? The Australian Bureau of Statistics found 3 in 4 Australian households carried some form of debt. Flip that around. Roughly 1 in 4 households owe nothing at all. As of mid-2025, total Australian household debt hit a record $3.33 trillion, up 6% on the year before, with the average household carrying around $313,633 in total debt. Globally, Australia has the second highest household debt level in the world relative to the size of its economy, behind only Switzerland. But here's the thing. Most of that debt is tied to property. Someone might owe $500,000 on a home worth $1.2 million. They're carrying debt, but they're also sitting on serious equity. Debt on its own never tells the full story. As of mid-2025, the average home loan sat around $349,410, with investment loans averaging even higher. More than a third of Australians, 35%, currently carry credit card debt, though the number of active credit cards in circulation has actually fallen nearly 2% in a year and almost 30% over the last decade, as debit and buy now pay later take over everyday spending. Buy now, pay later now affects roughly 20% of Australians, with the average user spending about $2,208 a year, or $184 a month. It feels harmless with no interest, but it's still a liability. And from mid-2025, it's officially classified as credit, meaning lenders now run responsible lending checks on it. Then there's HECS. No traditional interest, just indexation currently running between 4 and 7%, but still debt against your name until cleared. This is where it gets generational. Average debt ranges from around $23,000 for Gen Z to nearly $70,000 for Gen X, who carry the heaviest load of any generation. In your 20s, you're likely carrying HECS, maybe a car loan or credit card. Very few own a home outright. In fact, nearly 47% of Gen Z report having no debt at all, but that's less financially free and more haven't qualified for a mortgage yet. In your 30s, this is peak borrowing. First homes, upgrades, growing families. Mortgage debt is the norm. In your 40s, mortgages start shrinking. Personal loans and car loans often clear, and net wealth climbs even as some debt remains. In your 50s, balances fall faster. Kids become independent. Income peaks. More Australians cross into debt-free territory here. By 60s and beyond, debt-free living becomes far more common, with many retirees owning their home outright. Though a growing number are now retiring with a mortgage still attached, so even retirement isn't the guarantee it used to be. This is where it gets personal. Some people sleep better, owing nobody anything. Others are happy carrying a manageable mortgage while investing elsewhere. Neither is automatically right. A useful guideline: non-investment debt repayments shouldn't exceed 30 to 40% of your after-tax income. If your debt is affordable, building assets, and not causing stress, it may be working for you. High-interest debt, credit cards, personal loans, usually deserves priority since the interest rate often outweighs any investment return you get elsewhere. So instead of asking, am I debt-free? Ask, is my debt helping or hurting my financial future? It's also worth knowing how others feel about this. About 45% of Australians say they feel positive about their household debt levels, but 29% admit to feeling anxious about it, and more than half describe themselves as just keeping up or falling behind. That tension makes sense with owner-occupier mortgage rates sitting around 5.8%, well above the lows of a few years ago. So, how many Australians are actually debt-free? Roughly 1 in 4 households, by the broadest measure, and that group skews toward retirees who've paid off the home, plus younger people who simply haven't taken on debt yet. Being debt-free is a fantastic milestone, but it's not the only measure of success. Plenty of wealthy Australians still carry mortgages, and plenty of debt-free Australians have fairly modest wealth. The real goal isn't eliminating debt. It's building security, growing your net worth, and keeping financial stress under control. So I'm curious, are you completely debt-free or still chipping away at a mortgage, car loan, or HECS? Let me know in the comments. If you like Australian personal finance explained with real numbers and no fluff, hit subscribe. New videos drop every week. See you in the next one.